Hello, family. I was asked to say a few things that I remember about Lenora Holiday, Gladys's oldest daughter. Uh, she was often referred to as Kno-kno for short. The first thing that comes to mind is that Lenora liked to run. She would run almost everywhere she would go. When Mud would ask her to go get something or to go do something, sometimes she would just take out running before Mud would have time to finish telling her where she was going or what she was supposed to go do. When we would get off the bus down at the highway, I can remember Lenora would be way past the Davises before I could top the hill down by where the old Brock house used to be. When I think about the way she used to run, I think about the Kenyan children and the way they would run everywhere and how many of them have grown up to be the marathon winners. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if Lenora had grown up to be a track star. The second thing of mine is that she loved homework. Of course, there wasn't that much homework in elementary school, but I can remember how excited she would get when she was assigned some. She was a very smart girl. Back in those days, in elementary school, the teachers would assign you to A, B, or C groups based upon your ability to catch on and learn, and she was always in the A or B group. Of course, I wasn't, so that's all I'll say about that. Then I can remember her being very generous. Daddy used to buy us those Ike and Mike cookies. I know the young people that listen to this have no idea what I'm talking about, but it used to be two flat graham cracker-like cookies that would come in a pack. And Lenora would always eat one and give the other to other kids in her class. I remember that because I always wanted that second cookie for myself. And lastly, I can remember that she enjoyed going to church while Daddy would be having to rouse the rest of us up to get ready to go to church on Sunday mornings. Lenora was always up and ready and prepared to go long before the rest of us would be. And those are a few things that I can remember about Lenora Holiday, or Kno-kno.
David Anthony Holiday. I guess one thing about David was that people didn't know, he and I were only 2 days apart. You know, I would often hear stories growing up how Ma and Gladys would always dress us alike, and you know, everywhere they would go, people would always ask them if we were twins. You know, I don't think we looked that much alike. I think it was more the fact that they would always have us, you know, dressed up alike. So I remember I would always tell David, you know, while we were, you know, growing up, I was his uncle, and he had to always listen to me, and he would always come back with, well, I'm 2 days older than you, so I'm older, so you need to listen to me. So we used to always have a big, you know, joke about that. I remember being in elementary school, and we both, you know, would talk throughout the week on the phone, and we couldn't wait till that Friday. You know, we would always make plans that, you know, he was at Mumford, and I was at Oxford, and we would always make plans that I was either gonna come to Mumford, spend the weekend with them, or he was gonna come to Knoxville and spend the weekend with us, you know. So that was always an ongoing thing each weekend, and every time we'd get together, we would just have so much fun, you know. We both loved sports. You know, playing baseball, basketball, football, it didn't make us any difference. Going fishing, you know, David was a good athlete, so we just enjoyed hanging out with each other, you know. One thing about David, I think people didn't really realize, was he was a big practical joker. He loved having fun. I mean, always coming up with something silly to do, trying to scare you or something all the time. That was just him. You know, that was his personality. Another thing that really sticks out a lot was one summer. I guess we were both about 10 years old, and we were going to go spend the summer with Gladys in Chicago. All right, you know, 10-year-old boys, even from Silver Run, me from Knoxville, you know, hadn't really done much traveling. We was going to get on the Greyhound bus and go to Chicago and spend the summer. So we did, and I remember that summer, you know, having so much fun in Chicago. One of the biggest highlights was going to see the Cubs. You know, had never been to a Major League Baseball game before. You know, the biggest thing we've ever seen as far as baseball games were the games over in Silver Run. So you can imagine going into this big, you know, stadium over there at the Cubs and hanging out and having a good time. It was just something that, you know, we really enjoyed. And we used to talk about that for years after, you know. After high school, you know, David joined the Army, I joined the Air Force, and we both sort of went our separate ways. You know, we still kept in touch, used to talk a lot whenever we'd come home or whatever. We, you know, talk, he'd come visit, you know, and then he moved away to New York, and, you know, just talked to him a few times in between that. And so that's about the way things went. But, you know, he was a good guy. You know, we just miss him and, you know, really enjoyed the times we had together.
What's up, fam? My favorite memory about my brother Kenny is the time that he taught me how to drive a stick shift. It was my senior year of high school, and all of my friends wanted to go to Florida. Only we didn't have a car that would probably get us there. So Kenny was going to let me use his car, but I couldn't drive a stick. So one day he decided that he was going to teach me how to drive his Bronco so that I could drive it to Florida. So I'm pretty sure you know where this is going. When we got to the hills, the car would cut off. And when we got to the stop signs, the car would roll back. And I tried a few more times to practice, but in the end, I just got frustrated and decided that it wasn't a good idea. We probably wouldn't have made it there anyway. So that is one of my favorite memories of Kenny.
Aunt Gladys would come home every year on Memorial Weekend or 4th of July, and every time she'd come on 4th of July, she'd always take me, Sean, okay, correction, Aunt Gladys didn't drive, so she would have Aunt Grandmama take me, Sean, Jennifer, and her to JCPenney's to pick us out an 4th of July outfit. We'd always get like these different color shorts that had like the little white stripes on the side and a little halter top that kind of went like this and around the neck. Then she let us get like a pair of flip-flops that would match our outfit. We were so excited every time Aunt Gladys came because we knew she was going to buy us an outfit. And you know, some people still buy 4th of July outfits, Daddy. Another thing is when she comes, she'd always have us cut up these onions and bell peppers for her famous spaghetti and baked beans, and potatoes for the potato salad. You know, as we got older, we kind of wonder why we couldn't go to Walmart and buy the kind that was already, you know, cut up and in the little containers. But, you know, we was not going to dare ask Aunt Gladys that, you know. She didn't care about our eyes burning and our hands hurting. And I think my hands still hurt from those, cutting up all those onions and potatoes and bell peppers. Another memory would be she always sent everybody a birthday card. If you didn't get a birthday card from anybody, you was gonna always get a birthday card from Aunt Gladys. Signed, Love, Aunt Gladys, and Eldridge Smith. Well, those are some of the memories of Aunt Gladys. And I would just like to say, we love you, Aunt Gladys, and we miss you.
Yes, I'm making this video in memorial of my sister Gladys. When I finished school, her and I wanted to go up north and get us a job. And we went to visit my mother, named Barbara, in Warren, Ohio. And we got on the bus and headed to Warren, Ohio. Well, we got there and got to the bus station. Gladys looked at me, I looked at her. I don't know what we done got ourselves into. But anyway, Aunt Barbara came and picked us up. So we went back over. On our way back over to Aunt Barbara's house, we went down through town. Woo, I tell you, the town didn't look good, but we kept on going. Then we run into, nice subdivision homes and everything. So, oh, this is nice right here. Then we got to a railroad track and went across the railroad track. And the old saying is, we live across the railroad track. Well, we did. We crossed the track, went on over to her house, and got to her house. Gladys looked at me, I looked at Gladys, and she was real nice. Y'all get out and come on in. And we did. We got out and went on in and got in there, and she said, yeah, take your bag, Raymond, take the bags upstairs. I take the bags upstairs. There's one couch, when they pull out the couch that makes into a bed, and there was a mattress down on the floor. And I went, okay. Well, anyway, for the next day or two or 3 days, her husband took me to places, unemployment offer, we put in for jobs. This was a meal town, pipe shop town. So after about that third or fourth day, Gladys looked at me and I said, you find anything? She said, no. You? I said, no. Okay, Gladys said, okay, well, that Friday I got up, I looked in, well, Gladys was at her suitcase was on the bed. I packed my little stuff up and went downstairs, and Gladys said, we're leaving tomorrow. I said, good. So we got on the bus on our way home and ran into the sign that said, welcome to Alabama. You talking about a pretty sight. Gladys looked at me, I looked at Gladys, and I went, ooh, thank God we're home. And I'll never forget that. I said right then, Alabama, home sweet home is gonna always be my home. So I just want to give this memory in Gladys' honor.
Aunt Gladys. Gladys, a fitting name, meaning princess. Very fitting, and Gladys was the first of the 7. Also one of the only 2 girls. From humble beginnings in Talladega County, Alabama, and Gladys struck out on her own and moved up to the big city of Chicago. A tradition that was followed by a few other people in the family. When you think about Gladys, there's a lot of things that come to mind. One, it was not your birthday until you got a birthday card from Aunt Gladys. And Aunt Gladys wasn't no slouch with birthday cards either. Those were Hallmark cards. She wasn't getting the ones from Dollar Tree. Those were good quality birthday cards. And on top of that, she always put a little something in there to put in your pocket, which as a young man, I definitely always loved. My other memory of Aunt Gladys is, you can't think of Aunt Gladys at family get-togethers without seeing her behind that stove at Granddaddy's house, cooking something. My 2 favorite dishes Aunt Gladys used to make from now until I leave this earth that I'm always gonna remember are her spaghetti and her barbecue sauce. And I think the reason I like the barbecue sauce so much was because that was the first time I had ever seen somebody cook with beer. So, as a young man, that was always funny to see somebody throwing beer into the pot. But I would always remember at the end of every family gathering, I would sneak back in the kitchen and Aunt Gladys would always hook me up with my own bottle of barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce sandwiches, man, you have not lived until you had one of Aunt Gladys' barbecue sauce sandwiches. And that spaghetti, I don't know how we got spaghetti at a barbecue, but Aunt Gladys always made it and it was always right. And that's something I'm always gonna take with me, memories from my Aunt Gladys.
David Austin, a man of wisdom, courage, faith. He was a father, a brother, a husband, grandfather, an artist, a chef, a soldier, fisherman, choir singer, and much more. Always kept others smiling and uplifted, always found a way to make someone else's day. A true gentleman and representation of a great man. Gone, but forever remembered. I love you, Granddaddy.
Hello, family. Hey, just want to take a little time to talk about my buddy Dave, okay? Me and Dave met back in 1989 at Fort McClellan, Alabama. I was a young E5, Dave was a young E7, and he was my boss. And one thing I remember about Dave, we used to go do PT in the morning. We go play basketball. We always had a good time. I mean, we just had a whole lot of fun. Dave brought an element to PT that just made it exciting for everyone. And we all love Dave as a boss and as a friend. Okay? Me and Dave hit it off from the beginning, and we just clicked. And I said to myself, man, this is a nice guy. Let me introduce him to a nice person. My wife, Aunt Brenda. So I introduced Dave to Brenda and first I invited Dave to my son's birthday party, Roderick. So it was at our house on Charmel. I'm sorry, not Charmel, but Angel Boulevard. And Dave came and I introduced Dave and Brand, and next thing you know, they hooked up, and before I knew it, they was married. Okay, a lot of great memories with Dave, and I tell you, miss him so much. Okay, I remember when we used to have the barbecues on the hill, and how Dave, all day long, he's barbecuing. Yes, you know, that was Dave. He always wanted to have his hands in doing everything, and you know, I remember him, Smitty, just sitting down talking about the military, all our adventures and everything we've been through, and you know, just good times. And Dave was such a great artist. You know, some of the stuff he drawn was just beautiful artwork. He was a great creative artist, and he loved cars and his trucks. You know, his trucks. I remember when I was TDY, I had to go TDY up to North Carolina, and while I was up there, and I visited Dave, and you know, we just had a good time. We just enjoyed ourselves. And I remember one time we was up there, and me and Dave went to the racetrack and showed me around and introduced me to a couple of friends, and wow, we just had a great time. And you know, I can go on and on to talk about how great of a guy Dave was, but you know, everybody in the family, we know how wonderful he was, and what a caring person and what a great person Dave was. And I miss him a lot. I think about him a lot, and I tell you, you know, Dave, you are missed. Okay, and this Memorial Day celebrating, you know, the family, all the losses that we had in the family, is hard. You know, it's hard. You know, guess having this event, and guess, you know, being here without Dave and everyone else that we have lost. So, but with that, you know, we can enjoy Dave, his life, and what he brought to our family, and what a great guy he was. And you know, wow, we miss him so much. With that, you know, I guess I can go on and just talk about Dave, but you know, that's all I have, and we miss you, Dave.
Vernon pretty much, Vernon was always quiet, didn't say much. He was, and usually when you said something, you pretty much, came out real clear when he talked. But he was always quiet, and some of the time he was mostly to himself. And some of the fond memories we have together, because he's like less than 2 years younger than me. Some of the fond memories we had was when we had football teams. It was Vernon and Pop playing me, Shan, and Dan. Vernon and Pop was the superstars, and me, Dan, and Shan were the Bears. And most of the time they beat us. That's about all the time they beat us. And that's some of the fond memories I had about it.
I want to share a few words about my cousin Vernon Lee Martin. Vernon was a quiet person. Growing up, I remember playing football, softball, and basketball in the community. We was always on the same team, the superstars, that is. And we always had battles against those Bears. Me and Vernon, we won most of the games, I would say. Vernon was my star quarterback. I was the running back receiver. Also, one thing I remember about Vernon, he loved playing the drums. I always thought Vernon would go far in the music because I would always love hearing him play. Unlike today, I remember at night when we didn't have anything to do, we would go sit outside on the cars, look up at the stars, and Vernon, he'd get on his practice drum pad and he'll just play different songs. I'll miss Vernon. He was one of our cool, quiet cousins, but his impact in our life was plentiful. Vernon, we're going to miss you. We love you, and keep watching over us.
George Palmer Martin, son, brother, husband, father, grandfather, neighbor, friend, deacon. I'm proud to call him Granddaddy, a man with a sharp mind and impressive memory, a hard worker and always helping others. For me, the following memories will be everlasting. Him picking up slop from Mrs. Tucker's house to feed his pigs. These pigs, which later became bacon on our breakfast plates. Our touristic rides to the mountains in the back of his green Jeep. Dressed in our yellow and white as we would accompany him to sunbeam conventions. The $2 bills and $1 coins that he so graciously gave out for Christmas. Gone but never forgotten. Love you, Granddaddy.
Hey everyone, I'm here to talk about some of my favorite memories with Granddaddy. My first favorite memory with Granddaddy is for Christmas, for your birthday, for a random holiday, whenever you saw him, he would hand out $2 bills. And I really enjoyed getting those $2 bills because only he would give you the $2 bills. So I just always look forward to receiving those. Another memory that I have of Granddaddy is the roosters on the hill. Granddaddy used to have some roosters at the top of the hill and next to that trampoline. And we would walk up there and he would take us up there and he would just show us around and he'd be so happy to throw some bread or whatever he could at the roosters, and I really enjoyed that. Another memory that I have of Granddaddy is when we had gotten into a little trouble at my mom's house and we had to spend the whole day cleaning at Granddaddy's house with Papa. And we had been cleaning all day and Granddaddy decides to come out at the last minute and it's like, hey. And we're like, hey Granddaddy, where you been? And he's like, y'all want a piece of cake? And we're like, yeah, we'll take a piece of cake. So he cuts us all a piece of cake, me, him, and Asia a piece of cake. And me and Asia looking around and we noticed that the cake is 2 years old. And Granddaddy is still eating this cake and we're like, Granddaddy, this cake old. But we all know that Granddaddy really didn't care about expiration dates. So of course he went and ate the cake. But me and Asia didn't. But he was always just thoughtful, always there to offer you something, lend a helping hand. And those are some memories that I really miss and cherish for Granddaddy. and just, you know, so happy that he created such a wonderful family, and I'm just blessed and thankful.
Hey, the person I'm going to be talking about today is Granddaddy and the memories that I have of him. And the first one off the top of my head that I can think about is when we got in trouble at my auntie's house for flooding the backyard with our friends. We were playing and having a water fight, having a good time. My auntie came home and was so mad. She called my papa. We got whoopings and everything. And my papa came pick me and Maya up. We had to spend the night with him and everything. And the next morning, Papa took us up to Granddaddy's house bright and early in the morning. And we had to clean Granddaddy's whole house. And we didn't even know Granddaddy was in there until he came out and offered us all the piece of cakes. And we're like, Granddaddy, you was in there the whole time while Papa had us out here doing all types of work and everything. We could have asked you to save us. But I'm not mad at him because I would have stepped out the way too and minded my business. So, yeah, that's the first memory. The second memory I have of Granddaddy is when me and Maya took a picture with him at Brad. And I remember that day. I think it was Memorial Weekend. And all of our family had came out down here to celebrate, and we had just got done eating. We sat on the bench and we took a picture, and that was the prettiest picture that we had taken with him. So I love that picture. The third memory that I have of Granddaddy is when we used to always go to Beverly's house, and I had to say used to because COVID kind of messed it up, but we're gonna get back to it. So. But when we were at Beverly's house every year, and Granddaddy would say the grace and the blessing, and everybody would just be holding hands and, you know, praying, bowing their head, and, you know, just like soaking in the moment with our family. And Granddaddy kind of was like, he was the glue between us all. So we love you, Granddaddy, and we miss you. We think about you every day, and you're in our hearts. So we love you.
Everybody, we want to say happy Memorial Day to everyone. You have me, Flake, and Dusty here, and we're going to talk to you about our fondest memories of Ma. And the first thing I want to say is the greatest thing that I think we all got from Ma was strength and unity. And so now we're going to share some of our fondest memories that we had with Ma. So, what do you think, Flake?
Well, my favorite is when Ma used to sit around and tell us the stories. And the story I like the most is when she would tell us about her and Aunt Mattie Bell, and she was telling us that one day when they were younger, they had got into an argument about something, and some scissors was there, and Aunt Mattie Bell was across the room, and Ma took the scissors and threw them at Aunt Mattie Bell, and Aunt Mattie Bell jumped up and started hollering, "Oh, Ocie Lee done cut me to the bone, to the bone, to the bone, to the bone, to the bone."
I guess I enjoyed fishing a lot. Ma's favorite pastime, of course, was to fish, and so we had a lot of fish stories from Ma because she enjoyed fishing so much. What do you think, Dusty?
I think my fondest memory from her was doing the dining room chairs that she had.
Oh, yeah.
Sanded and some black folks chairs.
Yes.
Those chairs stayed in the dining room.
Right.
And I really enjoyed that project with her.
Yeah, and after we varnished them, we even put the seat covers on them with the stapler.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember we used to wash clothes outside. Remember we used to wash clothes outside and wring them through that wringer, and then go and hang them up on the line. And then don't forget all the food and the cooking.
Yes.
Wait a minute, like forget the one time Ma said she needed some gas, and she got a hole and a milk
jug. Mm-hmm.
And she went to David's truck. There was some gas out of his truck.
Yep. Yep. Oh, and speaking of cars.
When she ran out of gas, she needed gas for the lawnmower. That's where she went.
To David's truck.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that's how I learned to drive. Also, when we would come home, she would get out the car at the end of the road, and then we would switch, and she would let me drive the rest of the way up to the house, to driving. So that was a fun memory too.
I remember when she used to put the beans on, and she'd tell us to watch them beans, and they better not burn. And it seemed like by the time when she got back at the mailbox, the beans would start burning.
Yeah. Because we would all jump up and run in and then say, the beans not burned on it, the beans not burned on it. Yeah, that was good. And then don't forget the pickled pig feet, the sardines.
Cheese and crackers.
Cheese and crackers.
Potted meat.
Potted meat, yes. Yes.
And the favorites is the macaroni and cheese casserole.
Yes.
And I used to love the gizzard and the noodles.
Yes.
It's such a simple meal, but it was so good.
Yes, it was so good. Mm-hmm. And then Flake learned how to do biscuits, and I never could learn how to do biscuits. Mine were rocks, and hers were fluffy biscuits. So, and then don't forget the fried apple pies.
Yes.
The fried apple pies.
And the popcorn in the fireplace.
Oh yes, yes, yes. The popcorn.
And Mud's tin plate and spoon. Remember, she always ate out of that tin.
Yeah, she had that tin
cake plate.
I don't know what it was. A tin. You know that tin pan that she ate out of, Dawson?
At the end of the night.
At night.
Everybody else.
Yeah, she didn't eat until everybody else had ate, and then she would eat out of that tin plate and that spoon.
With her Dr. Pepper.
With her Dr. Pepper, of course.
Skins.
And skins. Yeah.
Skins and crackling.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And when she didn't want us in our sight, we better be under that shade tree.
Under the shade tree. That's right.
Make it mud pie.
Yep. And then she always had the pot of beans on, but we always had to cook the cornbread.
Mm-hmm. Went up to Miss Davis' store.
Oh yeah.
Hershey bar.
Oh yeah. Remember when we used to go to Miss Davis, that little store up there? Yeah, she'd take us up there to Miss Davis.
Yeah. And when she worked.
Every morning, get up, clean the house, and then go back to the Davis store.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And when she worked, how she would always, every day when she came home, she would bring us a sucker.
Yeah.
From the store.
Uh-huh. Yeah. We was getting treats, that's for sure. Yeah.
I think anytime we went to the store, we got a treat.
Yeah.
Always got something.
We was spoiled and didn't know we were spoiled.
This was great for me. But my best memory would probably be going to the washateria, with me standing right here. This is where I stood. McDonald's after the washateria. Everybody know her favorite seatbelt, which was her arm. You know, I got you.
Yeah, that was good.
I remember when she said go get a switch.
Oh.
It better be the right side.
Yeah,
you had to with that one.
You had to get your own switch. That was not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it better be the right side.
That's what Flake said. It better be the right side.
Oh, it better be the right side.
Cause you gonna get double the trouble.
Yeah. That's a lot of our fond memories of love. She brought a lot to our family, and we miss her. Well, she'll always be in our hearts.
We learned a lot.
Yes, I definitely got my strength from her and endurance. That's for sure.
I know how to move furniture by myself.
Oh.
I don't need somebody, like she said, you don't need no man to show you how to do something.
Oh, that's
this
right.
How you do it.
Yes.
And that's how she would show you how to do things that when people see you do it now, they're like, how you do that by yourself? Like, because Must showed me how to do it.
That's right. Yeah. All right. Well, we wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. We hope you enjoy some of our fun memories of love. Take care. Well, I miss Ma. She was good to us.
Yeah.